Alright, so true to form, my gay pink T-Mobile phone ran out of storage before I was able to finish that last colouring in points video. So that's become an A, 2 points on that. And I'm going to work on telling you about the third point right now while I eat my dinner, because I'm in the sleeper berth now, all prepared and everything. Gonna have my dinner and go to sleep. I had to upload the part A of this 6th video and then delete it so I could free up the storage so I could make this next one. So here's the deal. I was talking about Indians and what they do. So let's preface that, because I was a kid in the 60s. I came up through the 80s and the 90s. If you're a young person now listening to this, then yeah, it definitely was a different world, a lot different than what it is now. And if you're an older person, absolutely, you've lived through it. You can see what the difference is between then and now. It was definitely way better back then. And one of the things is, especially since the election, right? It's almost like a reset. We're back to, like, you can actually have a thought and you can say it. So let me give you an example. Back in late 2005 through to sometime in 2007, when I'd gone through the second separation and then was getting on with the divorce. Well, she was getting on with divorcing me with my ex-wife. So I was just doing the forlorn bachelor thing. I was going to bars and drinking and eating a lot of food and trying to entertain myself, going to movies and stuff. I'd do the Saturday night thing where I'd do the comedy club. So I'd go in and I'd have a meal and have dinner and sit and listen to some guy, you know. And seriously, back then, they would say all kinds of things like that would offend people. So you have the audience, so they'd be like freaking cracking up. Because even though this stuff was kind of raw, the reason people were laughing is because they knew that it was the truth. And sometimes it was about the people that were in the audience and they were still laughing because they knew it was the truth. We'd all laugh along with the comedian. So this is where I'm coming from now. And if it is going to upset you, then there's the door, right? And I'll just pick up with the people that are left. Because this is reality. This is how you have to think to make your way in the world. And I'm talking about my Indian boss, and I'm talking about I've had a small number of people I've had associations with Indians in my professional life. Different periods, different professions. I had computer programming in the 80s and 90s. I had it again with a company late 2007, mid 2008 here in America. The first one was in Australia. And then I had sales back in Australia during the Great Recession. I talked about that before as well. Now I've got this guy with this trucking. Oh my God. But back in the, I guess it was the mid-90s, I was with one of many companies I'd worked for. and there was a lady there. She was one of the colleagues, and she had worked in a bank before, and she had this boyfriend who was he was like one of the genius brain boxes. He ate IBM manuals for breakfast, and a few times when he came in and I met him, I picked his brain for certain things I needed to know that were low-level technical things with computer programming, and we got to be kind of friends and stuff. And both of them talked to me about, they work with a bank, a major bank down there. That's how they cut their teeth. Like, a lot of people had careers, they grew up in their careers in these big institutions. So this bank was called the ANZ Bank. Now, Z, Australian, European, that's, in America, that would be Z, so it would be the ANZ Bank. It was actually the Australian New Zealand Bank, so the abbreviation was ANZ. And they started out all like just Anglo-Saxon Australians. And then over time, they brought a few Indians in. And then, after my colleagues had left, eventually what they did was they outsourced the whole damn IT division of that bank to freaking India. So it's kind of stealth mode thing. So this was happening in the 90s, and I know a lot of stuff was happening in the 70s and 80s here in America. And a source of that, like this great outsourcing, which really started everything that led to Trump 40 years ago. All this corporatism and how the elites and the rich and the corporations just basically sold everybody out that was in the West. So that was like your Rust Belt and your Detroits and all that kind of stuff. That stuff was where a lot of Midwest Americans were like eventually on the opioids, because what do you do when your life's been totally destroyed? Your vocation's just gone. So, as I said, I've associated with a few Indians, and each time, my personal experience, I mean, a favorite YouTuber of mine who talks about women and men, he always talks about many women, not all women, but most women. Well, this is my experience. Many, not all, but most Indians I've associated with, they're always trying to do some kind of dodgy end run with whatever they have to do. I had it with programming in 2008 with this guy, basically created a career out of having an unmaintainable program that is like he just was constantly making fixes to his own crap. So they try to do shoddy or low quality work, anything like it's laziness. Like what can you do to get away with just getting it done? And it doesn't matter what piece of crap it is. And then if you're in business with the sales guy in Australia, it's like any way you can squeeze. His favorite word was juice. Any way you can squeeze out of a territory, a sales territory. Any way you can squeeze any further money or profit out of that territory by just going through there like a shower of salts through someone's digestive system and just ripping off as many people as you could on the days that we went out, and then moving on to the next territory. And again with this guy, like any way you can just not, like I've got a cracked windscreen and a freaking a stone on the windscreen. I've got other things wrong with the truck, the fridge, a hinge. He won't fix anything. So like any way he can squeeze cost out of it, and the way he talks to me, like don't turn the truck on, don't do this, don't do that. So this third world mentality, seems to me, right, to be like an endemic feature of that particular ethnicity. No, I'm not all. I had a landlord in 2005, like I signed a lease, and my ex-wife and I, she left after 4 months, so I was stuck with a ball, and it nearly killed me. and they gave us him and his wife came for a visit early on as like a housewarming present, gave us this beautiful Indian jeweled elephant. And they were nice people. They were nice people. I was nice to them. They were nice to me, right? But at the end, he said, oh, I had suspicions because, you know, like I kept quiet and everything. And, you know, like I guess I came around and only saw one car and whatever. But he was very, very happy that I paid his mortgage on the house for another 8 months, not complaining when my ex-wife split on me, which nearly killed me. You know, that was a time when, like, they were all just buying up houses like they were doing one of those airplane games in City Hall, and everybody was just hoping to fly away free with a profit while all the other suckers put their $500 in on the ticket for the airplanes game. So that was one. But I think out of the half dozen or so I've worked with, I've only seen one. Now, I'm not saying this is everybody, but this is what I'm dealing with now with this bastard in trucking, where I'm not going to call, like, I've been calling him the Indian, and I called him Mr. Dollarhide from Harrison Ford's characterization of the Colonel in Cowboys and Indians. Really mean, money obsessed military guy who's got a ranch of cattle, right? Very good characterization. I love that movie. But I call him Mr. Dollarhide because one of his ranch hands was calling him Mr. Dollarhide. I won't do this for Mr. Dollarhide. I won't do that for Mr. Dollarhide. So I call him the Indian. I call him Mr. Dollarhide. All behind his back, obviously. And now I'm going to call him the Slave King. So I guess this is pretty much the end of the third point because I want to eat my dinner and go to bed. And I've got a short delivery in the morning. And I've got another point, a fourth point, but that's going to be in another video.